Good morning students, I welcome you all for the online class of economics. Today we will be continuing with the same chapter, production function and returns to a factor. In that we will be going to start today the new returns to a factor topic once again. As in the last class I given you a short introduction about the returns to a factor. Now in this class I will be proceeding with the returns to a factor topic, the law of variable proportion. In this particular students, consider a situation where land is a fixed factor and labor is a variable factor and the farmer is producing wheat. Since land is a fixed factor, he can produce more of wheat by using more and more of labor, because in that piece of land it can be worked till the land capacity is there, how much we can increase our production capacity to the fuller utilization of land. And to make fuller utilization of land for the production capacity, we can increase the number of labor has to increase the production capacity as well. Here comes an important question: will every additional unit of labor employed on the given land yield the same amount of additional output of wheat? In other words, will MP of the labor remain constant for each and every additional unit of labor employed? Don't say maybe, it can never happen. If MP of labor was to remain constant, no matter how much of labor is employed, then a country like India would have produced more and more of wheat, because here the piece of land is constant but labors are in excess capacity as we can see. But it will not work, because if we are having more than the excess capacity of labor, then the fixed factor, it won't work, because if only up to a limited capacity only we can increase our production capacity. So here in a piece of land, if 4 person can only work, we can make the fuller utilization of the land only by appointing 4 people. If we exceed our capacity to 5 labor in that piece of land, it won't be working, it will be giving a diminishing result, negative result will start coming. So that only we learnt in the last class. Let us have the one line statement of law of variable proportion, which states that as more and more of the variable factor is combined with the fixed factor, marginal product of the variable factor may initially rise. What will rise? Marginal product of the variable factor will rise, but eventually a situation will come when marginal product of the variable factor start declining also. Marginal product may be ultimately become zero or even negative. Can MP ever rise? The answer is yes. MP of the variable factor may rise, but only in a situation where the fixed factor is not fully utilized. When the time the fixed factor is fully utilized, that time if we will increase the variable factor, then the resultant MP will be zero or it can come negative. So if ideally 4 full-time workers are needed to cultivate 2 hectares of land, MPL may increase when initially less than 4 workers are employed. MP should be maximum when 4 workers are employed and must start diminishing when more than 4 workers are employed. Thus the law of variable proportion may be defined as under. So MP ever rise? The answer is student, yes, MP of the variable factor can rise, but only in situation when the fixed factor is not fully utilized. That point you remember, tick mark in your books. Tabular and diagrammatic presentation of the law, student. When we see this topic, tabular and diagrammatic presentation of the law of variable proportion is explained with the help of table number 1 and figure number 1. I already explained to you this also, but here I want to explain the 3 statements which is given there. What is the relationship between MP and TP here? What you are seeing there, units of land, that is a fixed factor, is constant. Units of labor, it varies with the increasing capacity of the land. When we want to make fuller utilization of this 1 hectare of land or anything what is there, units of labor have to be increased to the fuller utilization of this land piece. That only we have learned. Law of variable proportion. Total product, definitely with the units and the labor, units of land and labor, we will get the total production. Marginal product will tell us how much per unit in production increase is there, what is the effect on total product. That will be the total marginal product. Has a relationship between total product and marginal product is that TP equals to sum of MP. If you remember the formula, TP equals to sum of MP, I already taught to you. Okay. Let us proceed with the topic. Units of land, you can see they are one, it is fixed 1. Units of labor, what you are seeing, it is increasing. Total product also increasing. Up to where it has been increased, where the total marginal product is, what you are seeing, marginal product. Marginal product, it is 2 when total product is 2. Units of land and units of labor utilized 2 and 1. Marginal product has been 3. Okay, the total factor is the marginal product. As you can see, units of land 1 plus 1 2, 1 plus 2 3, 1 plus 3 4, 1 plus 4 it is not becoming 3. So don't expect that it will be total of the units of land and units of labor. Sometimes students get confusion. In the initial lines they see and they just make an estimation, it is a total of so and so. Marginal product, once again I want to make you understand, marginal product is the particular study per unit production capacity when increase, what is the particular resultant. It is understand with the help of marginal product. So marginal product is not the total product, not the units of labor, not the units of land. It is the summation of, it is a total product half. Increasing MP implying increasing returns to a factor, diminishing MP implying diminishing returns to a factor, and negative MP implying negative returns to a factor. Returns to a factor means what we have inputted, what will be the output resultant. That is known as the returns to a factor. So you hear what the study is showing there. The assumption is given to us, it is ready data which is available to us. Here in this studies, what we are seeing there, total product is increasing 1 by 1. You can see here, students, when the labor has been increased from 1 to 2, the total product increased from 2 to 5. Marginal product derived is also from 2 to 3. Now, next, when the capacity increased from 2 to 3, total product also increased from 5 to 9. What we are seeing, marginal product capacity is also increasing 3 to 4. But certain labor student, when the fuller utilization of land is done, there we will see diminishing marginal return will be coming there. Okay, instead of increasing, it will be showing diminishing marginal product. Why? Because if the land is fully utilized, it will not give you the next time. Like for example, land's capacity is 3 only. After that, if you employ more pieces, more labors, then it will give diminishing returns. What you can see, marginal product declined by 1 unit, 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1. It is known as diminishing marginal product implying diminishing returns to a factor. When it will diminishing factor will come when the fuller utilization of land is completed. Now the situation what you are seeing there, total product was also increasing, you can see parallelly. At a certain situation, the total product become equal. It is not increasing, it is stable. That is the line where the MP came 0. So this line implies that student, when the MP is become negative, nothing's satisfaction level gets completed from the production of that product. No more production can be possible in the future and the total product will remain stable. 15. Another point, if we will increase the labor once again, what the result will be there? What will be the factors? Returns to a factor that will start says negative MP will be resultant there. Marginal product will start negative. So from 0 it will be minus 1. So this is the total product, marginal product student when MP is decreased. So here it shows when MP is increasing from 2 to 3 to 4, TP is increasing at increasing rate. First 2 units are added to total product, and then 3 and 4 and then 4 units of output. You can see that from 2 to 3. One more formula, if I want to say MP equals to, if you remember, TP minus TP. Which TP minus TP? Space is not there, so I will be explaining to you here. Downside. TP formula, MP formula equals to TP minus total product. Which total product minus which total product? If you remember, TPN minus TPN minus 1. What is TPN? The current TP, total product. So here TP current product 5. Okay, marginal product what? TPN minus 1. TPN minus 1. Here if it is 2, 2 minus 1. Current TP we are saying, second line TP we are saying. So TPN equals to 2. N value 2 is there, 2 minus 1 which is there 1. So 2 minus 1, TP total product at second line, what is there? 5. Total product at the first line, what is there? 2. 5 minus 2, how much is the marginal product? 3. Have you understood now how the MP came? So MP calculation I already taught to you in the last class. If you have seen my videos, total product even I said, and average product also in the beginning of the chapter. Now I am proceeding with the relationship between TP MP calculation and explaining you returns to a factor. Increasing MP, it will come till the time your labor's factor is completing full utilization of land is there. Up to there you will be getting the increasing MPs, and suddenly when your returns to suddenly when your margin productivity start declining, it will give diminishing margin product. Okay, you can see there when we started subtracting. So I think now it is clear. 9 minus 5 you will get 4. 12 minus 9 you are getting 3. What you are seeing, from 4 it become 3. Now again we will subtract. 40 minus 12, 2. So here what we are seeing, MP started decreasing, so it is diminishing returns to a factor. Negative, when you see 1 minus 50 minus 15, what it came? 0 it came. 50 minus 15, how many came? 0. 50 minus 15, 0. Negative MP started. 40 minus 50 minus 1. So here it is a situation when the total product will stop increasing and there will be decrease. So you can determine also when MP will become equals to 0. It is a situation when our TP will also come negative, start declining. Okay. So this is the TP and MP students. Where MP stops increasing, from that very point it start diminishing. Thus overlapping indicated in the above table when MP equals to 4. That is the maximum capacity. After that it cannot be increased. Variable factor unnecessary we will increase, total factor also have to increase, then only production capacity can increase here. Okay, law of variable proportion, increasing returns, diminishing returns and negative returns. When it will state, so yesterday I said you there, these 3 stages has been made by the curve. Here downside marginal product curve is there and this total product. Why it is made a straight line? So you can get the relationship between TP and MP. What the relationship see here students? TP by the tabular, what the data was there, total product from 2 to 5, 5 to 9. Remember, by joining that lines you will get the TP curve. And below that only you make on the x-axis, new x and y-axis, the marginal product. Okay, marginal product, fixed factor, capital remains constant. Only marginal product you will be deriving there. Marginal product you can know the 2, then 3, then this way the graph is made. Okay, and suddenly your TP also decline minus 1. What you have seen from 2 to 3 and then it is declined to minus 1 below x-axis. What is status student? Diminishing. On the top where it is increasing up to level which is increasing, it is increasing returns. This part increasing because up to here the curve was increasing. Now the curve is decreasing, diminishing. It is known as diminishing. And below the x-axis if it goes, it is negative. That only written with the shown with the help of graph. Stage 1 is between 0 to K on the curve TP. In this zone MP is increasing and TP is increasing at increasing rate. Now we can see the students what is the resultant there. Point of inflection, very important. It is a point from where slope of IP changes, TP changes. Up to this point TP has been increasing at the increasing rate. From this point onward TP increases but only at a diminishing rate. Means 3, then 2, then 1. You are seeing it is increasing. Which way? Diminishing rate it is increasing. Opposite way, 3 to 1. So it is a point which coincides with the end of the stage 1 of production as MP stops increasing at this point, or this is a point which marks the beginning of stage 2 of production as MP start diminishing from this point. In figure number 1, K is the point of inflections. Figure number K. Can you see point of inflection? So I think point of inflection is also clear to you people. What the theory says about the graph. Table 1 shows that as more and more units of labor, variable factors are used, MP marginal products tend to rise till 3 units of labor are employed. In this situation, MP total product increases at the increasing rate. This is a situation of increasing returns to the factor. But with the application of 4 units of labor, situation of diminishing returns sets in. MP start decreasing and TP increases only at a decreasing rate. Diminishing MP reduces to 0, total output is maximum equals to 15 when marginal output is 0. Eventually MP may be negative. Now output TP start declining as from 15 to 14 when 8 unit of labor is employed. Figure 1 shows that MP tends to rise till OL units of labor are used. This corresponds to point E on the MP curve. This is the situation of increasing returns to a factor. When MP is rising, TP tends to rise at an increasing rate. This occurs till point K on the TP curve. This corresponds to the situation of increasing returns to a factor. Beyond OL units of labor, MP tends to decline and TP increases only at a diminishing rate. This occurs between E and S on MP curve and between K and T on TP curve. Causes of increasing returns to a factor. There are some causes on the basis of which TP increases. Increasing returns to a factor occurs because of the following factors. Very first, fuller utilization of the fixed factor. In this initial stage, fixed factors such as machines remain underutilized. Its fuller utilization calls for greater application of the variable factor labor. Hence, initially, so long as fixed factor remains underutilized, additional units of the variable factor add more and more to total output or marginal product of the variable factor tends to increase. So, this is the first cause when the MP will be increasing returns to a factor. Why may we make fuller utilization of the fixed factor? That is a piece of land. If the land capacity is to make 4 workers to work, then if till the time we are making 4 workers to be employed so as to get the output from the land, it can be utilized. That is increasing, it will give increasing return. Second, division of labor and increase in efficiency. Definitely when the works are divided according to the efficiency of the workers, qualification and skill, definitely it will give good output and the resultant output. So that time also we will get increasing returns to a factor. Additional application of the variable factor labor enables process based division of labor. Specialized workers may be used for different process of production. This increases efficiency of productivity of the variable factor. Accordingly, marginal productivity tends to rise. Better coordination between the factors. So long as fixed factor remains underutilized, additional application of the variable factor tends to improve the degree of coordination between the fixed and variable factors. As a result, marginal product MP increases and total product TP increases at an increasing rate. Do you agree with the view that TP increases even when MP is decreasing? Yes, TP increases even when MP is decreasing because MP is an addition to TP. When MP is decreasing, only an addition to TP is decreasing, not the TP as such. TP continues to increase though at a diminishing rate. TP starts declining only when MP is negative. Can TP ever fall even more and more of the variable factor is combined with the fixed factor? The answer is yes. TP will fall even the MP of the variable factor becomes negative. It is a situation of excessive employment of the variable factor or a situation of disgust unemployment of the variable factor like labor. Next class we will be going to continue with the causes of diminishing returns to a factor. For today's class this much only because I have to explain after the diminishing return the assumptions of the law. For today's class that's why I am stopping here. Thank you for the class. Have a nice day.